Rodney. Howdy, folks. SJPC here in Little Face Brewing. I hope everybody's enjoying your Homebrew Wednesday. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. And this is a Homebrew Wednesday on a Wednesday. I am drinking on a wonderful homebrew right now from Mike Judy. This is the Vacant Gesture. The Vacant Gesture is actually a recipe from Harry Brew 69 over in the UK. Mike went and followed the recipe that Harry had out on video, in one of his videos, for the Vacant Gesture, and he brewed it by that video. And from what he had said in his letter to me, he pretty much hit his numbers and everything as per the video. So great job on following through on that, Mike. Wonderful, and you could not have picked a better beer to follow after. Harry Brew 69, Christopher Harrison, he's a good friend of mine. We actually started home brewing, brew tubing years ago, around the same time we came onto the scene. And we've started up a good friendship, and it's lasted through these years, like with most brew tubers, which is fantastic. Mike Judy is a local guy. I think he is a bit east of me here in South Central Pennsylvania. We met up at Homebrew Nation. Hibernation is a beer festival here in South Central Pennsylvania. It took place on February 8th. And I was running the Homebrew Nation, the homebrew side of that. And what we did was we brought in we had 51 homebrews mixed amongst commercial beers. And it was a big beer festival. And we had a competition. We had a brewer's choice, and we had a people's choice winners. And they were awarded trophies and prizes. We had a blast. We had a great showing from my local club, Scabs. We actually had a pretty good showing from some other local homebrew clubs, Sons of Alchemy, out in the Carlisle, Harrisburg area, I believe, and Mechanicsburg over in that general area. Hanover Brewers were there. They had a good showing. We did have a brewer from Lancaster, and of course Scabs. So congratulations to everybody that took part in Homebrew Nation. It was a blast. Mike stopped over, Mike Judy, where this wonderful beer came from. Stopped over and we had a good chat for a while, and it was good meeting him finally. We've been crossing paths for the last couple months, really, and it was really cool finally getting a chance to meet you, Mike, and chatting a little bit. He had an opportunity to stop over at Laramie 22's booth because he was there as well. Laramie 22 took second place in the Brewer's Choice with his Rolo. Fantastic beer. This right here, the Vacant Gesture, this is fantastic. You did a great job on capturing what Christopher did. Now, Chris sent me, it was like 4 beers years ago when he was still with Idle Valley, when he first started up with Idle Valley. And he sent me a bunch of beers then. I know Vacant Gesture was one of them. And it's one of his staple beers. They serve it all the time. He's at the Brew Shed in Redford, I believe, in the UK. And if you haven't checked out Harry Brew 69 on YouTube, you need to go there and just get some popcorn out and sit back and enjoy some of the best content. If you're a home brewer, if you're a brewer and you want to learn how to build a brewery, there's where you go. Go check it out. The beer is beautiful. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. A great balance of caramel sweetness, a little bit of biscuit, and citrus hop. It is a very well-balanced, low ABV beer, 3.5%, sessional. You just drink this thing all day. All day. So let's talk about the SJPC Challenge 2020. 3 hops, and an adjunct. We're getting close to close the registration. February 28th, we'll be closing registrations off, and then we move forward with who we have in the challenge. This year was a quick turnaround. So we're going with it. I'm excited. These 2 beers I have sitting back here, I brewed last weekend. Excuse me. One on the far there is a recipe that I brewed years ago, and I only needed to tweak it slightly to fit within the guidelines. The original recipe, to be honest with you, had all of the same hops. They were just spread out. So really all I needed to do was change up the hops on it so that I had 3 different hops, and I stuck with the 60-30 and under 10, and it worked out well. And then some of my tasting notes that I had from years ago, literally I haven't brewed that beer in 10 years, and I had some tasting notes down there for the next time I went to brew it. And back then, it was actually on tap here quite a bit back in the day, when we still had a lot of folks stopping over at Little Face Brewing. And so I took those tasting notes and I tweaked it just slightly. So I'm excited about that beer. I hit my numbers dead on. It smells great. Fermentation took off outstandingly. This beer here I brewed right after I did a double brew day last week. And this one is a brand new recipe. I developed that one I was thinking about it for months and months. And it kind of fit along the lines of if I'd have been brewing back in the day, a couple years ago for the SJ Pour Challenge, where it was brew local for the world, this one would have fit in that as well, because my adjunct is actually a local ingredient here, literally just down over the hill from our house. So I'm not going to give too much away about it. It's going to be, for me, a competition between those 2 beers on which one I enter in. And I am super excited to move through with this year's challenge. February 28th is the close of registration, and then we will move on. So if you've not signed up, please go to www.sjpourchallenge.org right now and sign up today. The timetable for this. So round 1, the beers will need to be received to the hub the week of March 16th. So between the 16th and the 20th, those beers should be arriving at the hubs, and the hubs will be the hubs will be determined after registration closes. So pay attention. You'll get an email saying where you need to send your beers and who your hub coordinator is. Those beers will then be back to you, the brewer, by March 27th, with voting closing on April 10th. So that would be round 1. Round 2 will be received at the hub April 27th and May 1st. Same deal. They'll be received back to you by May 8th, with voting closing May 22nd. Round 3 will be received by the hub June 8th to 12th. Then back out to you, if you make it through that far, by June 19th, with voting closing July 3rd. So on our Independence Day, we will be crowning the SJ Pour Challenge 2020 winner. Again, if you've not signed up, please go today and sign up. There's going to be all sorts of things that we'll be sending out to you folks through registration. There's going to be some raffles for some hops. So pay attention to that. Check out, some of this stuff should be coming from Man Bear Pig 11223344455. He's been running that end of the challenge for us, which is fantastic. So there you have it, folks. Go today and register. www.sjpourchallenge.org and register for the 2020 SJ Pour Challenge. 3 hops and an adjunct. If you have any questions at all, put them down here. I'll answer them. Hell, I might even do a video right after this, or not after this, but in a couple days, answering your questions. Why don't I do that? If you have any questions, put them down here, and I will answer them by Friday. maybe Friday night, I'll do another video answering all the questions. So there you have it, folks. Do you want to be the nation's best home brewer? Well, the only way to do that is to sign up today. This is S.J. Porter, Little Face Brewing, enjoying a Vacant Gesture by Mike Judy. Cheers. I'll turn this thing off. Tell you what.